Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the Game Plan College team this morning. We will be talking about making your college application strong today. As a reminder to all our participants, the session is being recorded, so please be mindful of what you share. We also encourage participants to share our workshops and our schedule of workshops, including the information session from the different colleges with your other members of your family, your friends, your neighbors, classmates, schools, whomever. So in today's discussion, as we explore why it is important for us to put strong college applications together, we have built in several objectives for today's discussion. But before I go to the objectives, for those of you who are not familiar with the Emily K Center or the Game Plan College in particular, I'd like to just give you a quick introduction to what we do and who we are. The Emily K Center was started in 2006 by Coach Mike Krzyzewski from Duke University basketball team. 3 programs have been at the program for years, but first it started by the Pioneer Scholars with the Pioneer Scholars, which is primarily for elementary and middle school students. We also have a program for high school students called Scholars to College, and this program is a cohort-based program where we have about 37 students in a given year in high school who prepare to go to college together, learning the same curriculum at all time, and they have a college advising person with them. We also have the Scholars on Campus program, which is for students who have enrolled into college. The Emily K Center continues to support these students because we know with more support, there's increased probability that students will ultimately graduate successfully from colleges. And then we have us. We are the last program to have been created, and we're now in our 4th year, the Game Plan College program. We're also a high school program, but unlike the cohort-based program, Scholars to College, we are a more open access program that serves students directly. We center singularly on the students, where he or she's coming from, what stage they're at in the college application process. We don't only encourage students to go to 4-year colleges. We recognize that there's a plethora of options for post-secondary education, and some of these may include vocational/technical schools. Some of these may include 2-year community colleges. Some of these may include 4-year community college. But these are the options that we give you, and we work directly with you and or your family to ensure that we advise you in the best way possible. Now, as we begin our presentation, it is important for us to identify what exactly are the objectives. So I want you to be mindful of these objectives. So if you think if you haven't met these objectives, or I haven't ensured that you've grasped what I hope to be the objectives of today's presentation, you please ask me, and we will be sure to go over it. So participants should be able to list and explain different components of the college application. Participants should be able to explain why they are the most suitable candidate for a particular college. Participants should be able to construct a meaningful college application timeline, and participants should be able to complete a college application successfully. Now, we've heard a lot about college applications. And when we hear about college applications, there are so many things that come to mind. It's a very frustrating process. It is also a very complex process. When I started learning about the college application process, I thought just applying for college in and of itself, students should immediately get an undergraduate degree, because there are so many components and so much details that go into ensuring that a student and or her or his family submits a college application, and in fact submit a great college application. Now, who are the best candidates for a college? And here I've started with a little example. We want to select 10 candidates to attend our college. And we see this crowd of people, or this crowd of college applicants. Who are the 10 people you would select to attend your college? We are seeing them, we know what they look like, but we know nothing more. We know image is nothing. We want some substance, and all we're seeing is what people look like. Colleges could do the same thing. And one may argue some colleges continue to do the same thing. But the reality is, colleges, for the most part, are out to ensure that they look for more than what they can see physically with the eyes, or what comes to people's mind about you as soon as they look at you. Colleges want to ensure that they get substance. So who among this crowd brings a substance? Who among this crowd, brings promise? Who among this crowd of people you're seeing here, or students you're seeing here, would represent potential impact for a college? As we discuss how to make the college application strong, particularly your college application strong, it is imperative that I also remind you that it is not only you who want something from these respective colleges. Colleges want something from you. That's why they take the time to read so meticulously and carefully through all the many different college applications that they have. They are looking for the diamonds in the rough. They're looking for those students who represent promise for them. They're looking for those students who they believe will not just come to their campus and graduate in time, but students who will make a lasting impact on their college culture, among their classmates, make the classrooms more engaging, make the co-curricular activities in college more engaging. Colleges want to ensure that they accept students who are more than just intellectual beings, but all-rounded individuals who demonstrate that they are people, individuals who demonstrate that they have learned to understand that school is more than just theory, and that school is applied in our everyday lives in ensuring that we make college campuses better, and ultimately the society and the community a better place for everyone. As I was preparing for the presentation, I thought about college application being akin to the life of fitness or health. And I thought about it this way because with fitness, it doesn't happen overnight. The same is true for health. Many of the underlying conditions, health conditions that people experience is as a result of our actions or inactions from months ago, years ago. When you look at people around us, and we see that there are some people who are fitter than others by whatever standards we are using, it's the same thing. That fitness it did not appear overnight. Among our team, we oftentimes joke about acquiring the summer body, but this is something that we have to work hard at, and I know it's not an easy process to come by. And so we have to put work out to hopefully one day get the summer body and keep it even during winter. But I made that comparison about fitness and health because applying for college is not an overnight process. For so many of us, we think about college as something we start processing when we reach our senior year. But in this presentation, we will demonstrate to you why it is important that we start engaging in conversations and exploring college ideas way before the 12th year. Oftentimes, we've experienced in our work that students who leave the college application only until they reach the 12th grade, we end up using a triaging model to save students, because many times these students are lacking so many things that they would have been in a better position to acquire and put together from as early as 9th grade. So please remember, one of the things we want for you to take from this presentation today is preparing the college application and ensuring that you have a strong college application is going to require that you start the college application process way before the 12th grade. That is not to say that students who only consider college in the senior year will not get into their post-secondary options, because there will be post-secondary options out there. But the earlier you try to prepare for these college experiences, it is the more options you will have, is the more selections you will have, the more marketable you will be to the different colleges who are trying to identify the best students to invite to their campus. So we come back to the picture of the crowd of students or the crowd of people we're seeing here. And we ask the question, given this crowd of people, this crowd of students, why complete a college application? Well, if we're going to select, as I had mentioned in the previous slide, that we're selecting 10 students from this crowd of students, we need something to help us to determine the differences among all of these students. We need something to tell us what makes each of these many different students unique, what makes each of these many different people stand out. Because as we look at these images, nobody stands out. The only thing that stands out is we see a collection of people standing together in different positions and different races. But beyond that, we need to understand the personalities, the characters, you know, the record, the reputation of these people. And all of these things we can only get when we start, you know, filling out the college application process. Now, what do colleges like? In one word, colleges like people who will make an impact. You know, it is just like when we talk about people who have come in our lives. So many people we've interacted with. Some of them, if I ask you to try and remember them, you may never ever remember them. And then there are others who have made a lasting impact on your life. This could be a teacher, this could be a parent, this could be a classmate or a friend, a neighbor, whomever. But there are people who have made impact, and we're talking specifically today about positive impacts. And there are people who have made impacts on our lives, and it's the same thing that colleges are looking for. Colleges are looking for students who are more than just intellectual beings. Colleges are looking for students who will make significant impact on other students, who will make significant impact in their classrooms, who will make significant impact on their college culture campus, who will make significant impact even on the community during their college experiences or subsequent to their graduation from college. As a result, colleges today start by ensuring that they have a diverse group of students coming into their school. Because diversity is strength. And when we have diversity, we recognize that there are various different challenges in our society, and we have various different perspectives about how to address them. And then we recognize this diversity and work with the diverse group of people to ensure that we create a more lasting and impactful resolution to the many challenges that we have in our society. Colleges are looking for students who have made academic progress. Please note, I did not say that colleges are looking for people with straight A's or perfect 4.0 GPA. Instead, I spoke about colleges are looking for people who are making academic progress. In other words, if you recognize in 10th grade that your GPA is 2.5, and you've worked very hard to ensure that you improve that GPA, and by the end of the 11th grade, your GPA is a 3.0, and you keep working, and say the end of the first semester, your GPA is 3.5. That's not a perfect GPA, albeit respectable, but the college sees that you're making progress. The college recognizes fully that we are imperfect, and there's going to be no perfect student. And whether your imperfection comes with your grade or your extracurricular activities or community involvement, you know, we need to recognize that The colleges are looking for people who continue to make progress, and we started with academic progress there. Colleges want to know you're unique. So when you're writing your essays, for example, for college, don't just talk about what you think colleges want to hear. Allow the admissions officers who are literally reading through each and every college application essay, allow them to know you. Allow them to know exactly who Jackie is when he or she reads Jackie's application essay. Ensure that by the end of that day and the following day, that person remembers that essay, because there's something that stands out in that essay. There's one person here, for example, in this talk, if I could mention him, Angel. I remember reading his college application essay and was so impressed. Even till today, I still remember every word in that essay, because the essay stood out for so many reasons, beyond just the substance of what was discussed, but also the craft of how Angel had discussed the points in his essay. Colleges also want to know that you're resilient. And that means that you may have experienced many challenges, but because of your own doing, you have overcome these challenges, and you have not allowed these challenges to wane your enthusiasm towards doing well academically and otherwise. When colleges see that in you, they know that even when tough times present themselves to you on college campus, that you're not going to just fold and give up. But you're just not just going to drop out of college. When they see this, they know that you're a fighter. They know that you are going to maintain your discipline and your resolution to ensure that you do well academically, that you do well in all of the spheres on a college campus, and you ultimately graduate in time. Colleges want to know that their students, again, are not just academic beings, that these people are multifaceted, that there are many aspects of your life, that beyond just being this very bright student, that you are a very good human being who is involved in so many different things, whether it is advocating for others, social justice, volunteering, whatever it is. Colleges want to know that about you. Colleges want to know that you're participating in extracurricular activities, that you're involved in sports at school and or clubs at school. And make these of substance. Don't just go to these clubs in your senior year or your junior year because you want to put it on your CV. Show that whilst you're in these clubs, you've made lasting impact, that you've raised money, X amount of money, and which has been contributed to the X organization to support X people. Show that you have made impact while being in these different, or while participating in these different extracurricular activities. If you're in sports, not everybody's as fit as Usain Bolt or other sports players. But what they want to know that is you have the discipline to participate in these things. And if you have skills more than the average athlete, even better for you. Show these, highlight these. Let them see how great an athlete you are, that you are not just a bright student, but a great athlete. Colleges want to see, like I mentioned earlier, your volunteering. They want to see your leadership. They want to see the involvement in your community. And again, this may be connected to you volunteering for different things or just participating in different community organizations, including Kiwanis Club. Colleges want to know that you have good time management. So if you are going to be participating in co-curricular activities and your grades are going to be falling, no, don't do that. It is better to focus on your grade and maintain great grades as opposed to just participating in many extracurricular activities, and then it turns out that these are affecting your grades, because it's going to show the colleges that no, you really cannot manage multiple things at the same time. And you know what? All of these things that I discussed, You have to demonstrate that you've established a reputation and a practice of doing these things. So leaving these things just for last minute may not help you. So as early as you can, try to be innovative, try to be creative, even during the coronavirus period. Try to see how you can be of support to other people without endangering yourself. Even if you want to create your own little group, you call a few of your friends and you create a group for yourselves, whether through your school or through your neighborhood, where all you do is check in on other people and name the group that when you create it. And you check in could mean you call different people every day just to make sure that they're doing fine. Because during these tough and challenging times, we all need people to check in on us. And we all need to know that people remember us. And so that's even something that you could do during these corona time to ensure that you're not endangering yourself, but highlighting that you are demonstrating that you have good character and thoughtfulness about others, and ensuring that you check in on other people. Now, when we talk about the college application process, it is important that we also know that what the Game Plan College team is encouraging all our participants is that you introduce colleges to the best version of yourself. Nothing less. The best version of yourself. Your parents and other family members, they know everything about you. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the in-between. Colleges don't need to know that. Just give them the best version of yourself. All the amazing impact you've made, whether in your family, the classroom, your school in general, among your peers, in your community. Give the best version of yourself. And when you find that you want to include your perfect imperfections, meaning you've had many challenges, all of us do, please ensure that you not just highlight the challenges that you've experienced, but how strong and determined you are in overcoming these challenges, where you are going to ensure that you're not going to make your challenges turn you in and become demotivated. You're going to make sure that you highlight to colleges that despite these many challenges, and in spite of all of these challenges, I have ensured that I've continued to soar, and that's what colleges want to know. Again, show colleges how unique you are. I remember a recent essay from another student where this student spoke about his or her disability. And this student, while others could have used this as an excuse for not doing better, this student spoke about how he or she ensured that despite of and in spite of this disability, he or she continued to do well and plans to continue to do well. Now, I want us to look at when we complete the college application process. So we mentioned this earlier. I could say as early as 9th grade, but others could suggest even before that. And that is true. There are many arguments about that because you want to build a reputation. But the reality, the colleges are only asking for your high school transcript. They're not going to be asking for your middle and elementary school transcript. But I guess people talk about even before that because you're talking about the character that you build as a person or as an individual. And then, you know, literally the application process itself, the application forms that you fill out and submit, these are done in the senior year, all right? And the Khan Academy does have a timeline that we could share with you, and you could visit for yourself, by the way. And this will show you different things that they expect you to fulfill by different times during your high school tenure. Now, ensuring that you submit the best college application will also include some of the things we discussed last week, which is the choice of school. So each school will require different things. Every school is different. All right. And so what I want for you to do is, following our presentation today, identify 2 safety schools. And from last week, we remember that safety schools are the schools we know for sure that we will get into. All right. We know for sure we'll get into those schools, unless something weird should happen. Then we have my match school that, based on our grades, we're pretty sure we're going to get into these schools. And please, as you're creating these lists, make sure that these are schools that will serve you well. And that's where the fit came in from last week too. But try to ensure first that these are schools that, based on your grades, you think you will match up. It's slightly off. It's either, by slightly off, sorry, I mean, your grades are just slightly above or slightly below, but usually right on target. And also include about 2 READ schools. And READ schools are schools that your grades might not be where the average test score or GPA is, but given everything that you've experienced and given everything else that you've been doing at school and all your other achievements and accolades you've earned, you know what? The school may just take me in. This college may just ask me to come to their campus because of all of these other things. But again, with REACH, it's not like your GPA is going to be 2.5 and then you're going to try and get into a school that requires a GPA of 3.8. Unless your parents have money and have contributed significantly to that school, it won't happen. We also want to explore why applying for college is like dating. In the dating process, oftentimes we try to impress the person we're trying to pursue. And it's the same thing with college. We're trying to impress these different colleges to invite us to their campus. And that's why I made that comparison here. The simile is is very important, because we are going to do everything that we can to ensure that these schools invite us to come to them, because if we don't give them the best version of ourselves, we may be the one left in the dark at the end. Now, what should I include in my college application? These are the very literal things. It depends on the school, as I said, but generally the actual college application, you can submit these through the Common Application Portal or the Coalition Application Portal. And some schools have their own application, which is on neither of these 2 first one. You need to include, well, not you, but your counselor would submit a school report, which is essentially telling them about the school, the types of courses that they offer, the ranking of their school, all of these different things. Because the colleges, when they get your transcript, it won't mean much to them unless they get context. If, for example, one student is not doing any AP course, it's generally, that's not impressive. But colleges won't hold it against students if the school does not offer AP courses. So that's why it's important that the school report is submitted by the school counselor. You'll have to enter your demographic information, meaning your age, gender, race, all those things. Your test scores, list the extracurricular activities, and list all of them. Don't take anything for granted and say, okay, that wasn't important, I won't include it. List all of them, include all of them, and show them that you are very involved and don't take away opportunities from yourself. You need letters of recommendation. I've always told students, ask for these letters of recommendation from the right people. You want, whenever I ask letters of recommendation, I oftentimes ask from various people for more than one letter of recommendation, because sometimes people become too busy and they don't get to submit it. And then sometimes I just want to get the letter of recommendation so that I can read through them myself and see which one is the best one, and then I'll ask those people to submit it for me ultimately. Because sometimes the people who write your letters of recommendation, they give you the opportunity to read through them first, even though oftentimes colleges ask if you waive that right to read the letter of recommendation. Your essay. Make sure your essay, as we discussed earlier, is very, very unique, very special in so many different ways. Don't focus too much on trying to impress the college. Just tell your story. You all have unique stories, and nobody knows you better than you. So you're the best person to write your own narrative. Many colleges too will have supplemental essay. And sometimes they'll say, oh, it's optional. You don't have to do it, or it's a choice. It's a trick. Don't believe them. Do it. If it says it's optional, it means they're testing you to see how determined you are, how much of a hard worker you are. Because you doing that extra step, it shows that you're truly committed to your intention of desiring to attend that particular college. Your grades, those will have to be submitted through your transcript. And again, this is a collection of your grades from 9th grade, all the way up until the point at which you submit your application. So in other words, you must submit you, okay? They want to learn about you. There's no other way that they're going to learn about you unless you do all of these things. It is more than just the actual application tool. You'll have to submit the North Carolina Residency Determination Service, RDS, we know it popularly as. You have to do the FAFSA, and the RDS is more important for public schools in North Carolina, and it's only used in North Carolina. The FAFSA is to ensure that you are funded for college, so colleges know how much you and your family can afford to pay. This is also connected to the college CSS profile, which is College Scholarship Services. Sometimes colleges will want to interview you because they just have narrowed down on a few applicants and they have too few of spaces, so they need to interview people to see if who they should admit and also who should get a scholarship. Sometimes colleges want you to demonstrate interest. And by demonstrating interest, it means you are making deliberate efforts to contact admissions officers because they record these things. And so if Christina contacts the admissions officer at UNC Chapel Hill last week, they'll record that. They'll record who they speak with, and they'll build a relationship with you, and they'll get to know you more. And again, they will see how interested you are. I'm not suggesting that you nag them or you constantly bother them, but when you have meaningful questions, reach out to them and you ask questions. Build that relationship. Let them know that you know them. That's all a part of networking. And networking, as we know, has a very high correlation with people's professional academic success. In addition to that, try to participate in campus visits. Now it's tough with the coronas that people can visit campuses, but they offer virtual tours, and many of these virtual tours, they ask for your name. Do you know why they want to know all of this information about you? Because again, they're tracking you to see the students who are interested in their school and to see to what extent this interest is maintained over the period of your application. Try to be on the listserv. So go on the different colleges that you're really interested in or you're trying to consider, go to their admissions page and try to join their listserv so they can start sending you emails about different updates from college admissions offices on their respective campuses. And when they send you the email, even if you don't get to read the email, click it. Let them see that you've opened the email because they can see when you open the emails, as does the Game Plan College team sees when people open the emails that we send them, the different newsletters, that is. Ensure that your online presence works in favor of you. So many of you are viral and very famous, but ensure that your online presence speaks positive things about you. You don't want your online presence to speak negative things about you because colleges can not consider you. And even if you put stuff online, after you've admitted to a particular college, there's always a clause in your acceptance offer that let you know that they can rescind that offer should you do anything that caused them to rescind it. And engage in the community-based events, and we discussed that earlier. Try to be more than just a student, be a human being who is actively engaged in the community. This is what the common application site looks like, with more than 800 member colleges and universities. And this is what the coalition application site looks like. And I know one of our members is particularly fond of the coalition application because it tracks the member schools and see which one of them make colleges more affordable for students, and they track also the demographics for these different colleges. With regard to extracurricular activity, quality is what matters more than quantity, and we discussed that earlier. So don't try to just participate in 10 clubs and think that will be great for you. No, if you're doing one club, that is fine, but make sure it is quality contributions that you're making there. And keep track of your involvement. Again, don't leave out anything. Start from now, record everything that you've done, if it's even to add them to your resumes. Do that from now, so that when it's time to complete all of these applications, you don't undersell yourself, all right? And include the roles that you've played, the impact you've made, and the dates that you've been involved in these things. Remember too, if you are doing any supervision of younger sibling or another family member, even if it's an elderly, these things are important too. This is considered extracurricular activity. It shows that you are responsible. And many times, because we have family obligations, we are not able to seek employment, or we're not able to participate in clubs. So if that's the case, allow the colleges to know this about you, and allow them there to know the impact that you've made and the role that you've been conducting in all of these at-home activities. In a letter of recommendation letter, I said earlier, and I say it again, ask the right people, okay? And if you know that the person doesn't know you well, give them a brag sheet about you. But I would encourage students all the time, ask people who know you for these letters of recommendation. Many times these are teachers, counselors, administrators, and even from people from community-based organizations like us at the Game Plan College team. Ask early, because many people are asking for letters of recommendation. And if you ask late, after too many people have asked, you're not going to get the best of the person writing a letter of recommendation. So for those of you who are rising seniors, a good time to start reaching out to your teachers or counselors, a community-based organization professional who supports you is now, because not too many people are now asking for letters of recommendation. Let these people start processing how to put these things together. Let them ask you for what they need you to give to them, and they can put this letter, write up this letter, perhaps give you a copy if you request it, and they agree, and they'll keep this on file until the respective colleges open their application process. And for those of you who ask people who may not know you very well, be ready to give them a bragging sheet. You know, this is a sheet that you tell all the glorious things about you so that colleges will consider you quickly. Regarding the essay, we spoke about this earlier. Stand out, share your story, make you unique. Show, don't just tell, demonstrate what makes you spectacular. Style and substance are both important. And the best way to write the best college application essay is when you write and rewrite and rewrite. And we know that different college admissions professionals have said different things about the importance of the college application essay. We're actually listening for a student's voice and trying to figure out who they would be on our campus. Again, looking for the impact that you're going to be making on their college campus. Another one says, a good essay to me in general is one where I learn something about the student that I wouldn't learn elsewhere in the application. Again, it's a similar thing for supplemental essay. And an example of the supplemental essay prompt could be, why this school? Or what are your favorite books? Okay? And you'll have to answer all of these additional questions. Now, I put here a table for us to review the next couple of minutes. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students with different GPAs and different ACT test score. And I only use ACT because ACT is used in North Carolina, predominantly, well, it's sponsored by the North Carolina government. I have the number of AP classes, the admissions officer's comments about the essay, the extracurricular activity that the students participate in, the school's reputation based on the council school report, and the admissions officer's response to your letter of recommendation. And look at these. You have students with varying GPAs, and you can see here, if we were supposed to take, for example, Ben, who is a first student, he has a 2.9 GPA, an ACT test score of 20. He does 4 AP classes. His essay was very memorable. The extracurricular activity, he's involved in clubs and he does volunteering. The school reputation it's a very resourceful school. That means they offer a lot of APs and everything. The letter of recommendations that came in, they essentially say that Ben is a satisfactory student. While Ben, looking at the number of the ACT score while looking at the GPA and ACT score, Ben could potentially get into state schools here in North Carolina. When you look at the letter of recommendation, it essentially says he's a satisfactory student. There's nothing that stands out. His essay, though, is very memorable. I'm sure that Ben will get into quite a few colleges, because whilst he's not strong all across the board, there are several points that he seems strong at, whether it is with his essay, his involvement in extracurricular activity, him doing AP courses, and also him satisfying the minimum requirement. For ACT, it's 17 in North Carolina. For GPA, it's 2.8 in North Carolina. So he'll get into schools. But I show you this example to show that regardless of how you're ranked in different things, it's a holistic application review for the most part. And you can take any of these many students. Let's take Liz, for example, 4.0 GPA, 24 on the ACT, 6 AP courses. Her essay, though, wasn't memorable. She participates in clubs, and I have the asterisk there because she has made significant contributions to these clubs. She also volunteers. Her school is very resourceful. The letters of recommendation demonstrate that she's impressive. So while her essay might not have been memorable, there are other things, and whilst her ACT score was not the highest, there are many other things, including her GPA here, that shows she has some promise. She's a very promising student, actually. And so some colleges will look at different things and say, you know what, we value this more than the other. And again, Liz's chance of getting into a particular college is going to be dependent on the ranking of other students as well, and how competitive are Liz's scores against these other students who have applied to this particular college. So that's why we encourage students, always put your best out, because you don't want to leave anything take anything for granted when you've not presented your best foot forward, because other students are going to present their best selves and then outdo you if you don't present your best self. We could have gone through this list for a while, but I'll continue. So what? Start planning. Plan ahead. You have to ensure that you challenge yourself. Don't just try to maintain a 4.0 GPA because by doing easy courses. Challenge yourselves wherever it's possible. Do the highest level of courses where possible. And don't just do these courses to fail them. Do them to do well at them. And if whilst trying to do well, you don't do as well as you want to, you've done good enough. Because AP courses, for example, carry a far better weighting than regular level courses. All right, so try to challenge yourself and do some higher level courses and demonstrate interest. As I said earlier, go to these college fairs. There are many of them occurring these days, and Game Plan College, as you know, we have been doing information sessions every day. And so there are students, even in this session right now, who have participated in most, if not all, of these college information sessions. And this is very good for you because you're already, establishing network and even your reputation to show how determined and how resilient and how disciplined you are. That's what people want to know about you, whether they're ultimately going to be writing your letters of recommendation or they're going to be admitting you into college. And you having participated in some of these information session, you could write to these respective college admissions officers and say to them, I was recently in an information session with you through the Game Plan College program, ... And then it shows that that college admissions officer how disciplined you are, how you've taken the initiative to navigate the college application process. That you've taken that initiative shows your level of maturity and how responsible you are. It also highlights your level of leadership. So subscribe to their correspondences. Again, admissions offices send us correspondences at the Game Plan College very often. You can subscribe to these correspondences as well. And it shows that you are very much interested in these schools. And don't do it for a million schools. Do it only for the schools that you are interested in. All right, so don't be overwhelming your inbox. And as I speak about inbox, it reminds me to remind you that ensure your email address is one that does not leave a negative thought in somebody else's mind. So have a professional email, one with your name in it. And when you get these correspondences that the colleges send you, please open them, because again, the colleges will know when you've opened these different correspondences. All right. There are different sites. I had shared them with you last week. I've reshared them here that you can go to as you try to start building your college list. Please use these different resources. And remember, the Game Plan College team is dedicated to ensuring that we serve each and every one of our participants with the best effort that we have. None of you will ever come to us and you get a substandard service. None of us. As always, our services are free of cost. We're committed to ensuring that you become the best version of yourself. We're committed to ensuring that we take you to the best college for you. We're committed to serving you unconditionally. This is the end of my presentation. As we end it, I'm going to remind students to fill out the feedback, because we need these feedbacks so we can ensure that we can monitor, our progress and also for quality control. We want you to also subscribe or follow us, on our Instagram at Game Plan College. I want for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And should you have any question whatsoever, please email us at gameplancollege@emilykay.org. I'll pause here to take any question that anybody may have for me or the team.
There is one question. Is it okay to unsubscribe to schools that I'm not interested in if they continue sending me emails?
Yes, if you're absolutely not interested in the school, you can unsubscribe from them. Yes, absolutely. And you have that right. Is there any other question?
No, that's the only one, unless someone else is typing one right now.
While we wait, could we also add the link, sorry, for the survey?
Yep.
I'm also reminding participants that we still do our one-on-one advising with students and or their parents. You can please feel free to make an appointment with us. You just go to our website, gameplancollege.org. So our website is gameplancollege.org. Once you go there and you have any question whatsoever, we will ensure that we walk you through whatever process or processes you want support with. Students, thank you for joining us today. Please join us at 2 p.m. And what's our topic for 2 p.m. again? Is it financial?
It's discussion on money, money management. So
money management.
How to manage your money, anything, savings accounts, student debt. You can go to our Instagram to check out the flyer. It's in collaboration with the Scholars on Campus program.
And thank you, Scholars on Campus, in advance for collaborating with us. All right, and Ms. Christina just put the exact topic there. So thank you so very much for joining us, everybody. Please continue to be safe. Please continue to use our services. We hope to see you at 2 p.m. Have a great day.